And I'm gonna go over the skull. Frontal bone, left and right parietal bone, occipital bone, temporal bone, sphenoid bone, nasal bone, maxilla bone, zygomatic bone, mandible bone. This is a mental foramen. The nasal bone inside, there is a nasal conchae, and this is ethmoid bone. And this one is alveoli, which holds teeth. What is this? This one is a vomer. And this is a superior orbital foramen, inferior or infra orbital foramen. This is superior orbital fissure, and this is inferior orbital fissure, and this is optical foramen.
Optical canal.
Optical canal. And there's a nasal bone, maxilla bone, and there's a lacrimal bone. It's ethmoid bone.
Over zygomatic.
Oh, I did a zygomatic. And again, this is a mandible, and this is a ramus, and that is coronoid process and condyle process. And here, it's mastoid process, and this is styloid process, and this is external auditory medius.
Stephanie, and I'll be doing the sutures of the outside bone. This suture is the coronal suture. The one that is vertical is sagittal suture. The one on the bottom, which connects the occipital bone and the parietal bone, is the lambdoid suture. The suture that is on the side, which is not really visible, but it is the squamosal suture. Okay, so now we're going to take off the top and look at the inside. This is the crista galli. Around it will be the cribriform plate, and inside these little spots are the olfactory foramina. Over here, where the hole is the optic canal, and this one is the sphenoid bone. This one in the center is the sella turcica. The hole in here is the foramen ovale. The hole on the bottom is jugular foramen. The hole here is foramen magnum. Okay, and so we're going to flip it over to the bottom of the skull. So this is part of the maxilla bone, and this one is the palatine bone. This is part of the vomer bone. So this will be, the top part is foramen ovale. This part is carotid canal, and the bottom is jugular foramen. This one is the foramen magnum, as we just went over. And these smooth surfaces is the occipital condyle. This is the fetal fontanelle. And here are also some useful tips. This is a zygomatic bone for the fetus.
Hi, I'm Myrtle, and I'm doing the pectoral girdle. This is the pectoral girdle, and it consists of the clavicle, aka the collarbone, and the scapula in the back. And the scapula is made up of the spine, the acromion, it's this part right here that connects to the clavicle, and the coracoid process, which is in the front right here. It's like a little hook. And the glenoid fossa or cavity, which I will show you better. So, this is the glenoid fossa or cavity, and your scapula. This is Myrtle again, and I'm doing the pelvic girdle. So the pelvic girdle consists of the ilium, which is this part, the pubic bone, which is this part, the obturator foramen, which is this hole right here, and the ischium, just the bottom area, and the symphysis pubis, which is the middle jelly-like thing, and the sacrum, which is this bone back here, and the acetabulum, which is the socket where the head of your femur attaches. This is how you're able to walk, I hope. And the coxal, which is
the coccyx.
No, I don't have the coccyx. So this is the sacrum. It's better to look at it here. This whole bone is the sacrum. And the sacrum is attached to the coccyx, aka your tailbone. And this is a better view of the acetabulum without the leg. So if you look, this is the acetabulum, and this is where the head of the femur is going to attach. Well, it's the socket where it is. And the obturator foramen. It's a better view.
Again.
Okay, I'm Mariah. I'll be going over the sternum and the ribs. This is sternum right here. The head of the sternum is the manubrium. Here's the body. And this little piece at the bottom is called the xiphoid process. The ribs on the side that are connected to the sternum, ribs 1 through 7 are called the true ribs. 8 through 10 are called the false ribs. And there's 2 ribs hanging off called the floating ribs. That's 11 and 12.
Can you show us the other model?
Okay,
Just so people
this is
know.
off the body. The manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process.
The floating ribs are not here. What's your
I'm
name?
Jenny, and I'm going to go over the humerus, the ulna, and the radius. Here is the greater tubercle. Here's the lesser tubercle. Here is the lateral epicondyle and the medial epicondyle. Here is the trochleum. From here to here's the trochlea. This is a certiculum. And here is
Capitulum.
the capitulum. Yeah. The coronary fossa is over here, and behind it is the olecranon fossa. So when this moves, when it attaches to the humerus, it becomes the olecranon process on the back, which allows it to move. And when it moves forward is the coronary process, because it attaches to the fossa. This is the radial head, the radius head. The stylial processes are in the bottom, here and here. This is the radial notch up here, and the radial tuberosity, the ulna and the radius. Up here is the greater tubercle. Here is the lesser tubercle. Here is the medial epicondyle and the lateral epicondyle. Here's the trochlea and the capitulum. Here is the coronary fossa, and behind it is the olecranon fossa. Here is the coronary process, and again behind it, right here is the olecranon process. Down here is the styloid of the ulna. Here's the the stylo process of the radius. This is the radial head, the radial notch right here, and the radial tuberosity.
In this regard, I'm going to expose the femur, the tibia, and the tibula.
Okay.
The femur has the head, it has the neck, and it has the greater truncator, lesser truncator. And here we have the condyles. They have a median condyle, lateral condyle. They have intercondyle surface, fossa. Also here we have the tibia, and they have the tuberosity or tibia. Is this one shows 300, and here I have the medial and lateral intercondyles, and this one is the medialis medium, and this is the lateral. These are the tibia, and this is the other bones that I have. This is the fibula. The fibula has the femurs, the head fibula, they have and the medial and the legs. Also have the medial and lateral medialis.
Hi, my name is Alicia, and I'm gonna do the foot. This right here, it's the calcaneus, the talus, the cuboidal shaped as a cube, and right here we have the navicular, and these three are called the cuneiforms. There are three different cuneiforms. This one is called the medial cuneiform, the one that runs from the big toe towards the body immediately, so it's called medial cuneiform. In the middle is intermediate cuneiform, and the third one is lateral cuneiform that goes outwards from the body. These parts are the metatarsals and the phalanges. And this is the right foot. Right, because you see the hook right here, it always goes anteriorly. So if it goes anteriorly, you can tell that it's your right hand. Now there are these are the carpals, and when you start from the bottom away that are not touching the metacarpals, you start from here, and this is the scaphoid, the lunate, the trichetium, the pisiform, and then comes, you start from the thumb, it comes the trapezium, trapezoid, the capitate, and the hamate, the one with the hook, hamate. These are the metacarpals and the phalanges. That's all.